Welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. I'm your co-host Cicely,
I'm your host Hayden.
and tonight we're recording late at night, so our other host is in bed. Sorry.
He couldn't watch this one
He
anyway.
couldn't hang. His bedtime's 9 p.m., okay?
No, this is Human Centipede.
Also, we did not want him to watch this. So.
Not that he watched any yet. But...
Yes, he has. Don't tell our fans that. He's seen them all. Okay. Unfortunately, today we're talking about the Human Centipede. The first sequence.
Yep.
Came out in 2009, so first time I saw this, I was about... How old were we? We watched it with Kim in the living room.
You would have been 10, but we would have watched it after that.
We watched it with Kimberly, so...
Like 11 or 12, you would have been probably.
6? Yeah. About 6th or 7th grade. Definitely rated R. An hour and 32 minutes long. Got a 4.4 out of 10 on IMDb. In my opinion, too high. A mad scientist kidnaps and mutilates a trio of tourists in order to reassemble them into a human centipede. It's created by stitching their mouths to each other's rectums.
So it said an hour and 32 minutes. It definitely seems a lot longer than that.
It just feels like 7 hours.
It feels like it never ends.
I'm not gonna lie, it's just a hard watch.
Yeah. The weird part is that it's a very good movie until the Human Centipede part.
Yeah.
Like, it's so, like, engaging and intriguing,
Kinda
the whole
like
beginning.
Tusk.
Yeah, like
Tusk
the whole...
is, like, decent until you get to the one part and you're like, I can't fucking watch this.
This is weird and disgusting, yeah. And
Tusk is harder for me to watch than
Really?
this.
I think this is harder for me to watch because of the surgery part and stuff and watching. We'll get to the one part that I find just absolutely disgusting, but... Like, he's like
bad in their own
the
way.
whole kidnapping thing and torturing them thing, that's all interesting and like a good horror movie.
Yeah.
Like that, if it was like that for the whole movie, it would be like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
But then you throw in the Human Centipede part, it drops it a few points.
Like, I just want to know. Sorry,
Like
she was biting my hair.
You just want to know, like, who thought of this?
Who came up with this idea? Or, like, were they sober?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have a fear fact on how that came about. So, let's start this disgusting first sequence
Let's dive right in.
The trilogy. And I haven't seen 2 or 3, but apparently they get worse.
I don't want to see 2 or 3.
Well, me either, but we
Nobody
might have
vote
to.
for that. Nobody recommend it, and nobody just don't talk about it, alright? You guys put me through Terrifier and Tusk.
And Terrifier 2.
And Terrifier 2. Don't put me through 2 more of these.
Wow. So, there's a very odd opening to the movie where the guy, well, you don't really see much of anything as it's like panning. It's just like a white screen over text or the text over a white screen, whatever.
Yeah.
But the odd part that I'm talking about is this guy sitting on the side of the road, which he's apparently not the only car sitting on the side of the road.
Uh-huh.
But he's like caressing a picture of a tree dog. like he has the first picture and it's just one dog.
Yeah.
And then he flips it and then there's 3 of them. And you don't really see like them connected. They're just like standing.
Like
almost mouth to butt, but you can't really see that in the picture.
Why was the prototype dogs? Leave them out of it.
I don't know.
Actually, don't think of this.
Well, I mean, testing's always done on animals. I guess that would
Which is wrong and cruel, and we need to stop. Thanks. Sorry. Don't mean to get political.
Or at least test on pigeons, because no one likes pigeons.
No! Pigeons are fine.
Leave the rabbits and monkeys out of it.
I don't think we should test on any animals.
Except the rats with wings. disgusting, fat.
Rats
gray.
are actually very nice little creatures.
I'm talking about pigeons. They're rats with wings. Because rats carry disease. I love rats. I don't want them in my house unless they're a pet. I wouldn't be allowed to have it as a pet anyway, but I'm calling a pigeon a disgusting, disease-ridden breeding ground.
I actually love birds.
I like birds, not pigeons. Pigeons are gross.
Anyway, sorry.
Do the testing on them. I don't care.
I care. Thanks.
So, he's caressing this picture. And this trucker pulls off to the side of the road to take a dump. And little did he know, there's a weirdo parked in the car. And he shoots him with a tranq dart. And that's kind of where it, like, fades to black. Like, cuts off to, a different part of the story. And going into it without any knowledge of what this movie's about, no one told you about it, no one explained what goes on in the movie, you didn't read anything, you just watched the movie, you'd have no idea what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, going to the movie, you click on it knowing that the dude sews mouths to asses in this movie. You're like, okay, this dude is turning into a human centipede. Which is a scary thought.
Yeah.
But this is still the good part of the movie, the interesting part that draws me in. And in the next scene, the girls are apparently going to a party, which always seems to be how these horror movies start, where someone gets kidnapped. It's always like, they're going to a party, and like on the way, they get taken, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something. But they're on their way. She doesn't know where the hell she's going, which seems weird to me, why you wouldn't like try to, figure out where it's at.
Yeah.
In 2009, I think they had GPSs.
Did they?
Pretty sure. Like the one that you have on your dash. Like the one you bought in like Walmart and put on your dash and connected to your...
I used to think those were so cool.
Now they're on your phone. But their tire pops out in the middle of nowhere. Just like any good old horror movie that...
They would have had GPSs, yeah.
Yeah. Good old horror movie that someone gets abducted starts. Then this weird old man pulls up next to him. And the people are speaking German, and the girls don't understand German. And he's saying really weird and disgusting stuff to the girls, just to add on to the disgustingness of this movie. Just make it all disgusting, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when in Rome, I guess.
I guess. So, he says a word. I don't remember how to say it. But she looks it up in the word guide, and it's fucking. And they get really disgusted, roll up their window, and ignore him. But minutes later, they decide the stupid idea to get out and walk.
Never do that.
No, never do that, number one. And especially if you're in a horror movie. I mean,
yeah, if you find yourself in a horror movie ever, just
stay in the car. Don't get out. Wait
and
till daylight.
If you're running from someone, don't trip and fall over.
Yeah, that too. But they find a strange dude's house. And they knocked on the door, and he came and answered the door and told them they could come in. And this is where you get a glimpse of his face. And it's the dude who tranked the trucker from the beginning of the movie. So, us as the watchers have a little insight. And we already know that it's not going to be good. Just by, seeing who it was.
Uh-huh.
And they ask him to please call a tow truck or whatever, emergency car services or something like that. And he goes out to get him a drink, and he pretends to call. Pretty convincing.
Yeah. I probably would have believed it.
I mean, I wouldn't have entered his house.
Oh.
I wouldn't go into some weird dude's house
Never.
in the middle of nowhere
Never.
with no neighbors or anything. That's a recipe for disaster. But he pretended to call and made it sound convincing. But the drinks were spiked. They had roofies in it. The what did he call it? Rape date drug, I think he said.
Rape
date drug. I think he said it backwards.
Yeah, it's date rape.
Yeah.
Drug.
Pretty sure he said it backwards, but
idiot.
He it probably sounds different in
Stupid
German.
idiot.
But he knocks the girls out, and they end up waking up in a room tied up to these gurneys. Which has to be like one of the most terrifying things.
If you find yourself in a situation where you're tied to something, you're in a room, or you're like, I'm literally picturing in my head, okay, I have animals to feed, and I have a nephew now. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm getting my bionic strength, all my adrenaline in my body. And I'm gonna go fucking crazy, like the Tasmanian devil.
Here's a question that I have to ask off the podcast.
Oh God.
Okay,
anyway,
we're back. That was the answer I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
Anyways, waking up in a room tied up has to be terrifying, but waking up onto a medical gurney has to be like that extra level.
Yeah.
Because it's not a bed that you're tied to. He's gonna do surgery on you somehow.
I would? No, I'd probably die of a heart attack.
Yeah, seriously. And he killed the man from the beginning. That trucker that he tranked in the beginning of the movie. And he said that his tissue didn't match theirs or something. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So he killed the man because he wasn't compatible with
the centipede.
Yeah, with the centipede. So he leaves after, killing him, and they're trying to escape and everything, obviously. But he shows up with a new person. And apparently it's someone who's compatible, but it's this Japanese guy who doesn't speak any English or German. Which has to be an even scarier thought. You're talking, tied to this medical bed, in this strange dude's basement, and you're talking, but no one understands what you're saying.
I'm not even kidding. I think I would die of a heart attack.
Like, just the pure isolation.
I think I'd die.
Seriously.
My heart would beat so fast that I would die.
It would be terrifying. So then he proceeds to tell them the plan that he has for a human centipede. And he has a little slideshow going too, which seems to be well put together by him. He had little pictures drawn. And where he was going to cut. He was going to cut out the tendons in their knees so they can't stand up and walk. And he's going to cut little pieces of their ass cheeks and sew it to their face and turn them into this disgusting thing.
Disgusting.
And Lindsay sort of escapes. So she gets out of the restraints. She breaks into the bedroom, and he breaks in through the window, and the power cuts out. So she starts to run, and why I say sort of escapes is because she starts to run, turns around, goes back for her friend. Now, personally, I would have ran. Got police immediately and been like, I know where this dude's house is.
Gotta go back.
And he can't do anything to them without the third person.
Yeah.
He would have to go get another third person, which would take a long time. Or he would have to track you down. So just get out, run.
Find someone.
Find the police. Bring them back. This guy kidnapped me. He has my friend in the basement and some other guy. But she decided to go back for a friend, which is admirable, and I get it. But here's the thing. She's knocked out, so she can't run herself. So you kind of either have to carry her or drag her, and a little girl like that, I don't think would be able to carry a full person.
No, yeah.
So your best option in that situation, get out. She ends up paying for that by the next scene. He picks her as the middle, which, if you ask me, has to be the worst place on the Centipede. Wouldn't you think? The middle's the worst part.
Yeah.
Because you got your
best is in the front.
Oh, yeah. If I had to be anywhere, I would want to be in the front, because there's nothing going in my mouth but actual food.
Oh my god.
This movie's just fucked up.
It's hard to talk about.
But he does try to drown her. Because she, gets away in that moment. And she falls into the pool, and he tries to put the cover over the top. And this is where the power goes out. And she gets out of the water. She is conflicted on how to escape. Like I said, she is like looking back, like I should go back for my friend, and she does go back for her friend, like I just said. Stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he does stop her by shooting her from the broken window, which was because she was slow from dragging her friend. Now, that's in a way kind of your fault, because you did get her halfway out, but you could have gotten away.
Yeah. And then
found someone, or police came back and saved her.
Yeah, exactly.
And neither of the people would have been put through what they were through, which we're getting into here soon. But she's knocked out, brings her back down, brings her friend back down, and he starts the operation. Slices open their knees, slices open their butt cheeks, and it's actually showing it, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But this is the point in the movie where I no longer like the movie.
Well, yeah. Uh-huh.
It's up until this point, it is really thrilling. It is really terrifying, because he's just around every corner and just this maniac, and it's shocking and everything. It was a very good horror movie up until this point.
It just becomes fucked up.
Yes, very. So he wakes them up and makes them stand up. This is the first glimpse we get of the human centipede. And it is absolutely horrendous.
Oh my god.
To even think about yourself being in that position.
I would die. I'm not kidding. When I say that, I would die. I would make my body shut down.
Yeah. Just die.
I'd say, please die, please die, please die. Please, please, please. Just
I'm sure they were probably saying the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So he is now training them, like they're dogs, to bring him the newspaper.
Lol.
Which seems like the weirdest possible thing that you could do after sewing these people together and turning them into a human centipede, that you want them to fetch your newspaper for you.
Come on, be real.
Seriously. And I don't know, it just seems like overkill that they're naked too.
At least let them wear something. Like something.
Like they're wearing like gauze around themselves, but it's like that's it. Their whole body's exposed. Like I don't know. It just makes it worse seeing that all together, and then they're just straight up naked. It's just fucking weird. This whole movie's weird. And then the part that kills this movie for me, as if it wasn't already dead before, is the thing that the Japanese guy has to do that is just unspeakable, unthinkable even, is he shits in her mouth. He ate the food from the dinner before, and he couldn't help it, and he had to. She had to eat it. That's just, like, disgusting, just thinking about that. Let alone seeing it in a movie. No. This has to be, like... this is top 1 most disgusting thing ever seen in a horror movie. And the worst part of this movie.
Followed closely by Tusk.
Followed closely
by a skin walrus.
A skin walrus suit, yes. But the police show up in a kind of awkward exchange between the two. Between the Dr. Hyder and the police, Voller and Krantz, whatever his name was.
Uh-huh.
And they're asking him questions, and he's not really answering, and he's like he has like a short temper and everything, and it's very clear that he's very nervous about them being there.
Uh-huh.
And he plays it off as just being overworked. And it's like, if you're conducting your own research in your house, how are you overworked? Like, you're a private researcher.
Just take a break.
Yeah, go sit on the couch.
Walk to the next room.
Yeah, like something. I don't know. But he spills a glass on the floor, so he goes down into the basement, and he realizes that Jenny is actually getting infected around her mouth, which she's the end.
Which, duh.
You're shitting into cuts, basically.
You're asking for an infection.
Yeah. So Jenny's infected, and he says that he's actually going to mercy kill Jenny, and he's going to make a 4-person human centipede. As if 3 isn't bad enough.
Yeah.
There's 2 middles.
2 middles,
and that's just... I don't know which one would be worse. Getting 1 person's?
Probably the second middle.
Or the second middle where you get 2 people's.
Yeah.
You think that's worse?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Because it's 1 person going into that person, and you into... Yeah, the second middle's probably worse. But the police are a little sus here. He drops his towel with a syringe in there, right?
Yeah.
Which he's like, alright, so this is weird. We're gonna leave. We're gonna get a warrant. We're gonna come back, and we're gonna see what the hell you're doing here, because you're weird.
You're a freakazoid.
Yes. And I don't know. It just seems like there has to be a way that you could engage him in attacking one of you so you can shoot him. Because as soon as I walked in there and saw like how weird he was, I would want to shoot that dude. Like, I know you have fucking people in your basement.
I know you were making a human centipede in your basement.
But the police leave, and the doctor goes down into the basement, and the human centipede is missing. Uh-oh. That's not good for
uh-oh.
him. But they stab him in the foot and are escaping. Well, they bite him in the neck, too, and they're escaping. And they're nearly out when he finally shows up. Because they can't quite get out the window, right? And the Japanese dude, I don't know, like, he turns around and he's staring at him, and I don't know what was going through his head that he makes the decision to kill himself. That doesn't seem smart to me.
No.
I don't know why he decided to do that. But whatever, it's shameful, I guess.
Yeah.
He's just embarrassed. He'd rather die than anything else, but
Bye.
I'd rather get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So the police came back, and they break in the house, and they're searching around the house, and they see bloody things, and, you know, blood smears everywhere, and Franz ends up opening the door and seeing a human centipede with 2 dead ends, and the chick in the middle still alive trying to get help. I honestly would probably react the same way if I saw that. He was freaked out, which is understandable. But the doctor ends up killing Voller. He heard a gunshot.
Yeah.
And it ended up to where Voller was dead in the pool. And Krantz comes in, trying to see what happened. And the doctor got Voller's gun, shoots him in the gut, or in the chest or something. And before he falls in the pool and dies, Krantz shoots the doctor in the head. Good riddance.
Good riddance.
You fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
But Jenny is now fully dead. She's no longer hanging on. She's completely and utterly dead. The dude killed himself. The doctor's dead. The 2 detectives are dead. So literally, Lindsay is the only one alive.
Yeah.
And she's the middle of the human centipede. And the movie ends there. It doesn't explain that she got away and any of this other stuff. I like to think that because the 2 detectives were dead, they sent more police to find out what happened because they went missing. They go in the house and they save Jenny by cutting her free from the human centipede, right?
Yeah.
Or Lindsay. Saving Lindsay, cutting her free of the human centipede, and, like, giving her plastic surgery to fix her face.
Yeah.
That's just, like, my own way to rationalize.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. What would you rate this movie?
Well, I'll give it a 2 for gross factor.
So, as a whole, I'd probably give it a 3. But, like, the actual horror movie part, it's definitely an 8.
Yeah.
Like, everything that doesn't involve the human centipede part was amazing. Like, the story was well written, and, like, the suspense was there.
Yeah.
And the horror aspect was there. It definitely
did the job.
It did the job, and then human centipede came in, and I was like, alright, I'm done. So, let's just say a 5. 5.5. We'll say 5.5. Right in the middle of the 8 and the 3. I would give it a 5.5 as a total.
Okay, I'm giving it a 2.
Disgusting.
Because it's fucking disgusting.
Yes.
Any movies that make me physically gag, you're done.
You're done.
This and Tusk.
Tusk
makes me
disgusting.
Like, I can't watch that movie without, like, I'm not even kidding. I dry heave the whole time.
And Tusk is exactly the same. Like, up until the walrus skin part, it's a very good movie.
I don't know what it is about the walrus and like Justin Long inside of that, but it makes me throw the fuck up.
It's disgusting. Like, the whole movie, like, is suspenseful and everything, just like this one, just like Human Centipede.
But there's parts of Tusk where I'm like, this would be so good if it was about anything else on Earth besides a skin suit of a tusk.
Yeah.
A walrus.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm traumatized from that movie.
Let's get into some fear facts here.
Okay.
So, the director of this movie, which I think he also wrote it, he showed the drawing of the Human Centipede to all the actresses and actors that like were auditioning for it. And once they realized exactly what the thing was about, like the movie was about, they just walked out. That's how you know it's bad. When the people that are auditioning were like, yeah, you can't pay me enough for this.
I'm not doing that.
Which is crazy how Tusk got Justin Long, but to each their own. And Johnny Depp. Isn't Tusk the one that had Johnny Depp as the inspector at the end?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like how did it get those two
They're
in there?
They're probably like, yeah, I'll do something weird.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm weird. I'm used to
I'll
weird
do
stuff.
something weird.
So, for the second one, movie theaters that were displaying, the very few movie theaters that were showing this movie, actually had a Centipede deal. If you buy 2 tickets, you get 1 free.
Oh no, that's terrible.
That's awful.
That's funny though. That's clever.
So, when he was looking for funding for this movie, the investors were not told about the mouth to the anus part. But he explained it as it's a movie where people are surgically like sewn together. Blah blah blah. He just didn't tell them how by sewing their mouths to their ass.
Imagine providing funds for this movie and then you watch it and you're like, what the fuck?
So apparently a lot of people walked out of like the first viewing or whatever.
As they should.
Yes. So, as I was saying before, my 4th out of 5, you were asking how he got this idea?
Yeah, was he high?
The idea was actually a joke.
Okay.
It was for pedophiles to be attached to the ass of fat truckers.
Interesting.
That they should have their mouth sewn to the ass of fat truckers.
What did the fat truckers do?
I don't know. It's just, he said that's how pedophiles should be treated.
I agree.
I also agree. But I also agree
you were sober thinking of this shit?
Probably. But they should also be 6 feet under, so...
Yeah.
But, for my final fear fact, the Human Centipede actors got massages every single day. Basically at work. They paid for them to be massaged every single day because of the basically torture that they had to go through crawling around attached to each other.
Hell yeah. Massage me, feed me lunch.
Okay, so let's think of something real quick. The actors, right?
Yeah.
They had them attached.
I hope they paid for therapy services.
Hopefully. But they had them attached in a fake way, obviously. They didn't actually sew their face. So
their ass was still...
Their ass was still in their face, so they're acting, right? Actors fart.
Oh, no.
Imagine being that close to a person.
They probably had, like, a code where they're like, I gotta fart, and then they just detach.
Yeah, but, like, can you tell me that you know when every single one's coming? Some of them just, accidentally come out.
Well, I'd like to think that they tried.
They tried, at least.
Yeah.
But it's like, just think about that.
I don't want to.
No, but like, just imagine like having to act and your face is in an ass all day.
They better have gotten paid.
I hope so.
Handsomely. And they...
The thing is,
yes,
I don't
massages, free lunch, therapy.
They did get lunch or whatever. They got food
okay,
too.
God.
But the thing is, the budget wasn't enormous.
But you have to dedicate a part of your budget to taking care of your 3 actors that had
I
their
hope that they
face
got paid the highest out of
ass.
everyone on set.
They deserve it, and if they didn't, I'm kind of mad for them.
Oh God, I'm glad that we're done talking about this.
Yeah, let's move it. Let's move along.
So this was our 100th episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot because.
So I hope you enjoyed this disgusting journey with us.
I did.
And there were several people that asked us to do this movie for a long time. And I've been putting it off, and then I had this, like 4 weeks ago, I had this idea, like, shit, we have to do something special for 100 episodes. I've had like 4 people ask us to do Human Centipede. We should just do it on episode 100. Been dreading this day. But now we're past it.
Okay,
we're done talking about it.
Okay, good.
And I want to go see Terrifier 3 in theaters.
I don't. Thanks, though, for,
But we're going to do it anyway.
I don't want to go see it. Right?
I'm sure you don't, but we want to do it on, I think it comes out October 11? Something like that. So hopefully there's an episode really close to that day, and we can do the theater, come back, record type deal as usual. So, Cicely, as we're signing off, go ahead and tell them our next movie.
Our next movie is called In a Violent Nature. Apparently
this one is supposed to be like from a killer's point of view. That's the killer is like similar to Jason in a way, I guess.
Looks pretty cool.
Looks cool. So hopefully it is good. We appreciate you getting us to episode 100.
Yup.
If we saw 0 viewers come up, we'd probably stop doing it, but as of right now, we still have a couple tricklers in there.
A couple? Okay, cool.
We're actually getting a decent bit on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Which, thank you to everyone who's listening to us on YouTube, or we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts.
We're on it, baby.
We're on a lot of things. Amazon podcasts and stuff, too. I forget.
I don't know.
But we're on just about everything that a podcast thing will let us be on, so we appreciate the people that are still listening. If you're listening and you're not following, follow our Facebook.
Hit that fucking follow.
We're terrible at posting on there.
We're gonna make a goal right now to post more. Maybe that'll help get more viewers as well.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Listeners, whatever.
Whichever. But as of right now, it's still fun for me. So
yeah, same.
Go ahead and read the question.
This 1982 film features an escaped mental patient with a drill who decides to crash a high school student's slumber party.
Which we forgot to read the question last episode.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. But if you know it, put it on the Facebooks. If not, better luck next time. So we will catch you next week with In a Violent Nature.
Catch you later.